All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and you can see beside me there is no crusher crossing. And before we bring in this guest in, I want to give a big announcement that after we get Sky James on, Crusher Crossing will be coming on, and we'll be reviewing my match for the very, very first time. But we're not going to worry about that at the minute because we're celebrating Pride Month with a bang, with none other than probably the best person to get on for Pride Month, the Rainbow Rebel, Sky James. So let's not waste any time and bring her on, the Rainbow Rebel, Sky James.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me on, Keaton.
Yeah, thanks so much for taking the time to come on as well. And so, Skye, before we get into the interview and all, how's your day been?
Oh, it's been nice. I'm off work today, so I've just been getting a chill day, which has been good. I'm in my high season at work, so it's been flat out when I've been in work.
Yep. And I suppose you're happy to be celebrating Pride Month and all as well.
Yeah. I was out last week for the Belfast Pride March, and it was good fun. There was a really, really good turnout for it this year, and it's always amazing fun, the Belfast Pride March.
Yep. And I'm so happy that you're able to come onto this podcast, especially for Pride Month, because I know you're quite proud of who you are and stuff. So, so thanks very much for coming on again. But I want to let's start from the start. So, what's your very first memory of professional wrestling?
Actually, it probably comes from the fact that I really like the game. So, my mom used to randomly buy me games that were discounted, and one day I ended up with SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, and that's really how I ended up getting into wrestling. Was I started off playing that game, and then next minute I wanted to start watching some of the matches on YouTube, and eventually full blown into wrestling.
That's strange. So if your mum didn't buy that game, or if that game wasn't on discount, you never know. You maybe wouldn't even be liking wrestling.
Maybe not, but then I feel like I would have found my way to wrestling somehow because it's ended up being such a big part of my life, and it's really shaped me with who I am as well. So I think I would have found my way to it somehow.
Yeah, that's good. And was there a certain wrestler that influenced you to maybe start watching wrestling in that game?
Well, The Rock was my favorite in the game, and I also love playing as the Undertaker. Me and my brother used to fight all the time over who got to be Undertaker, and I usually won. So he usually ended up playing as Hulk Hogan. And then when I got proper into wrestling, I fell in love with John Cena. So I feel like John Cena was kind of the one that made me really properly fall in love with wrestling.
Mm-hmm. So, and then was there a certain wrestler maybe when you or a certain match that you first watched and you thought to yourself, "This is what I want to do"?
I can't think of a certain match. I think really it comes down to I really liked Paige. I really identified with Paige when she came in. And then it was a mix of that. And one of my favorite TV shows was Total Divas. So getting to watch all the women behind the scenes and getting to see that spotlight on the women made me realize, well, maybe I could give it a go at some point.
Yeah, and who do you when you mention all the divas and stuff, was there a certain maybe diva that influenced your wrestling career?
Definitely Paige, and I would say definitely Nikki Bella as well, because they were honestly my two favorites. I was kind of drawn to them. I tried my best not to miss any of their matches, and even now I constantly watch all their matches on repeat, even the really short ones. I would say though my favorite Paige match was definitely probably the one with Emma, which was the one in NXT, because that one was really, really good, and really, I think, kicked off women being taken seriously in WWE. So
Yeah.
I really love that match. And then I love watching all the women's Royal Rumbles, because we get so many of the women of the past coming back in for special appearances. So I'm constantly watching those matches again and again.
So then you made a Nikki Bella fan. I'm sure you like this year's Royal Rumble entrance
Oh
number 30.
yes, I was very happy. I was at my friend's house watching a match, and I probably got him a noise complaint the next day whenever I squealed when she came out. And
And
I'm
when you
so happy to see her back as well. It's good to see her on the shows regularly again. So I hope she sticks around for a long time.
And so then you've mentioned they're being influenced by likes of The Rock, The Undertaker, and people like that. And would you say that any of these people have maybe influenced your style in the ring, like the kind of the way you wrestle?
Not overly, because like both those guys are much bigger than I am. Like I wouldn't be powerhouses like them. Like I would say I've taken inspiration from like Paige with like some of her technical sort of things she did. I like to watch the likes of Liv Morgan. Like I would like to, kind of do some of the stuff that she does. So it's kind of like more the wrestlers that are a similar build to me that I find is easier to take the inspiration from when it comes to my style of wrestling.
And the women's you talk about, they're like Paige and people like that. They have kind of developed the women's division. A lot of people say it's Trish Stratus and Lita, which is true. They really did help it. But I suppose the newer generation, like Nikki Bella and Paige, have had a big influence on it. And I'm sure you kind of feel thankful for that, for the women's division, that now you're able to wrestle as well.
Yeah, no, they definitely did. Like I feel like there's always been like little snippets in the history of wrestling where we have had women that have kind of came in and have pioneered it. Even going back as like Wendy Richer with the first WrestleMania, you have China, and of course Lita and Trish. But without them constantly pushing it, I think women would have ended up falling into the background, which is kind of what happened. You would have like a spike where the women were doing very well for a while, and then they would just kind of fade out and be kind of the joke of the show, the thing that was getting cut from the shows. And I feel like whenever we had the Divas Revolution with the likes of Nikki Bella, Paige, and of course the Four Horsewomen when they came in, I think that has made a change that is going to hopefully be a lot more permanent. And it seems that way because even since then, we've had like Liv Morgan come in, we've had Rhea Ripley come in, we've had Jade Cargill, and then we've had some of the girls who've been around for a while, like Naomi, who have really stepped it up in the last few years.
And look at it now, the second ever women's evolution, and it's going strong.
Yeah, I definitely think Evolution needs to become an annual show because to me, I might be a little bit biased, but it was my favourite pay-per-view of the year so far.
I don't think it's biasness. Like, I think that main event, nothing can beat that. Like, even the SummerSlam main event, no matter what, that nothing can beat that. That was better than the WrestleMania main event.
It was like that main event was just perfect. It was just great wrestling. And I even think, even with you mentioned WrestleMania, I definitely think the women stole the show this year at Mania because, like, the EO, Rhea, and who was the third one in the match?
Oh, yeah. Was it Naomi? No, it
No,
wasn't.
no. Why am I blanking here? Because it was like,
I can't.
EO was like the dark horse. I remember that. It was between Rhea and someone else, but it was a triple threat match and it was absolutely fantastic. And definitely think it was the match of WrestleMania for me. It might have been, was it Bianca maybe? Could have been Bianca.
Could have been.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm blanking now. I'm gonna have to look this up when we finish.
Jax? Nia Jax?
No, it wasn't Ajax.
But you can tell there you're very passionate about women's wrestling and stuff. So when you first got into wrestling, do you ever think you maybe felt intimidated or something, that maybe you wouldn't be as good as the guys, and not that's maybe what made you want to push forward?
Um, Kind of was worried that I wouldn't be taken as seriously. I wasn't worried that I wouldn't be as good as them, but I definitely felt like I had to kind of work harder than them to kind of prove that, I could do it just as well as all of them, to kind of prove it to, the people who were going to book you on shows, the trainers. And when I came in, like there was quite a while where like a lot of the time I was the only girl at training. And then we eventually got like Mila, and Mila started not long after me. But then there was still a lot of times where, some days I would make training and she wouldn't. So, there was still times where I would have been like the only girl in the class, and I just always felt like I had to step it up a gear.
And when was it you first started wrestling? Was it in PW?
Yeah, it was in PW. So when I first started, we didn't actually have a proper training school. We were actually doing it on the mats in a community centre in East Belfast. And then after a few months, Tron and Andy Thompson had taken over PW, so they set up a training school on the Boucher Road. So that was actually like my first time getting training in a ring. So this was back in about 2017. So the trainers that they had in was Tron took a few of the sessions himself, but the main trainers were JDP and Tucker. And I genuinely think Tucker is definitely one of the best people to learn wrestling from.
Absolutely, he's been there, done that. Same with Tron. I know he maybe didn't have as much successful career as Tucker did, but these two guys have been the WWE and back. JDP, such an incredible coach. He's trained some of the best. How do you think? What is the best thing out of these four people that you've mentioned? What is the best thing that we came out with that you remember till this day? Their advice.
Well, with Tucker, he was always very good at pushing you, like he knew when to push you, and he was always very good at encouraging you. Do you know what I mean? So like, I would say even just watching Tucker, and he had some really nasty injuries in his career with his knee, like his knee's basically reconstructed, and the fact that he's like still pushing on and still wrestling the way he does, like even just watching him is a huge inspiration.
Exactly, and when you watch his stuff, think that with the injuries, not with the injuries that he's got, even I'm not like the age of him. I don't mean that's in a rude way, but in the age with the like he's getting older and he's just so incredible
Yes.
still, so athletic with swanton bombs and things like that. So he's just a pleasure to watch, I suppose.
He definitely is. Like he does wrestle like he's about 10 years younger than he is.
He really does.
Which is
He was
incredible.
nuts.
Like, but I think it's a shame. Like, I think if it, maybe wasn't for his knee. Sorry, the lighting was annoying me there. If it wasn't for his knee, I think he could have ended up having a fantastic career in WWE.
Definitely, they missed out big time, I suppose, and
They definitely did, because he's probably one of the best talents that we have over here.
100%. I can't really think of much better. But when what was the point where you were ready to have your first match? What was the point where your coaches knew that you were ready?
Well, they I wasn't sure. Like, I had like days where I was confident and I was like, I feel ready for a match. But then when they were actually like, oh, we're going to put you in a match, I was like really, really nervous, because then all of a sudden I was like, I don't actually know if I am ready for this match. But I was quite lucky, because with my first match, I was given Raven Creed. So Raven Creed, it was just a really, really good person to have as a first opponent, because she's really not capable of having a bad match. She's a fantastic wrestler, a fantastic performer. So I really hit the jackpot with that one. And I remember, like, after finishing my first match, I like honestly couldn't stop smiling. There was obviously a few things when I watch it back that I cringe, because I've learned a lot more since my first match, and I kind of look at it and I'm like, I would have done that differently and I would have done that differently. But at the end of the day, a lot of this comes from, you have to like do the matches to learn how to do the matches better. So I feel like I did the best of what I could at that point in time of my training, and I'm still really, really proud of it.
Yeah, you should be as well. But when you got into the ring for the very first time, and you mentioned, or sometimes you didn't feel like you're ready, sometimes you did. Sometimes you're really confident, sometimes you were not. Did you ever feel with being in the ring with like a Tucker or Andy Thompson or some of the guys who've been around the business? Did you ever feel much imposter syndrome that you shouldn't be there?
Sometimes I did, like, especially whenever I was working like some of the bigger shows and I was getting given like, I was working someone that I'd never met before, and I'm like, am I even good enough to be working this person? And then I remember when I got my first booking outside of Ireland, when I went to Wales, and I was like at that show, and I was like really nervous that I was gonna mess up, because I'm like, I'm here now, but I'm actually ready for this. So I think it is something that you always feel, but I think it can be a good thing as well, because it means if you're going out and you feel like you have something to prove, you're staying hungry and you're staying humble, which is actually advice I got off Paige at one point, when I got a video message off her. But I think it's very good advice. She got that same advice from The Rock, and I think that's how you really need to approach the wrestling industry.
Yeah, I seen that in the Fighting with My Family movie as well. I'm sure you've watched that loads of times.
Yeah, it was a fantastic movie, and like I remember just before Paige like made her main roster and debut, like I remember my mum actually let me stay up late because we'd seen that there was a wrestling documentary on Channel 4, and it was actually the documentary about her and her family that ended up inspiring The Rock to make the movie. So it was one of the things that actually made me really fall in love with Paige as a wrestler.
Yeah, she's incredible. Like, and then you later moved on from having your first match, your debut match. So after that point, did you become more? I suppose who was your first match against? Sorry, who else got one first?
Raven Creed.
Even Creed. And would you say she kind of carried you through the match, because you were new to the game, so she kind of carried you through the match?
Yeah, she definitely helped me a lot in the match, so she did, and she definitely took the lead in the match. But she was also very good at listening to what I wanted included in the match as well. So it was, I definitely think I really hit the jackpot by having her as my first opponent. Now, my second match I had, it was a tag match, so I was like working with her again, and I was actually tagging with Matt Schuyler and his former tag partner. Now, that match ended up being a bit scrappy because I got a bit overconfident and I went for a Hurricane Rana, and I wasn't very good at that Hurricane Rana, but we got to where we needed to in the match. But I feel like sometimes when you have a match where something goes wrong, you end up learning from it.
Definitely.
And
And
then like after that, I had a load of matches that were good. Like there was actually one point where after Mila had her debut, I think the two of us were sick of looking at each other.
was that because you were the only two females there?
Yeah, so we kind of got put together quite a lot. So we'd either be tagging together or we'd be wrestling each other. And then there was kind of a big gap where we hadn't wrestled each other in a while. And then I was actually kind of glad to finally get to work with her again because she is a really, really good talent. And you know, we, I've seen her grow because I remember the first day that she walked into training. So, it's kind of cool to see whenever you have someone that started not long after you and you can see the growth of both of you together.
Absolutely, she's doing really well for herself over in TNA as well.
Yeah, she's doing fantastic, and I'm loving her work with Harley Hudson. I think the two of them are playing off each other very, very well.
Absolutely. And so, what gimmick did you have when you first started? Was it still the Rainbow Rebel gimmick?
I actually can't remember what point I started using the Rainbow Rebel nickname. It was a wee bit after that. Like to be honest, when I started, I was a wee bit kind of generic. Like I kind of came out with the same sort of kind of jacket that I had, but like I was kind of telling people I was trying to be like the Avril Lavigne of wrestling. But like
Yes,
I didn't really have a character or anything. I was just a really generic rocker chick, to be honest.
that's a cool gimmick.
Yeah.
But then it later led into, so when what was the point where you came into the Rainbow Rebel?
I can't even really remember what happened there. I think it might have been like just before COVID. Like I think it might have been around the time of Respect I maybe came up with that gimmick. And the start of Titanic, but I actually can't remember the moment that I started calling myself that. Um, but I know it was around that time because it's kind of weird. Like I feel like wrestling for me is split up between what happened before COVID and what happened after COVID because
And
it just kind of happened bang in the middle of like my wrestling.
yeah, COVID ruined a lot of wrestlers. And a lot of wrestlers didn't continue after it. I believe in Northern Ireland, a lot of wrestlers didn't continue, but you still obviously you still continued.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that went down during the lockdown, and then obviously some wrestling promotions didn't exist by the time we came out of lockdown. But we just kind of powered on, and then even after we returned from lockdown, well, there was like a bit of time where we were able to train again, and then I got like one of the worst injuries I ever got in wrestling. Because I had like my second training session back, and I was actually in the ring with Enzo, and my leg got caught, and I just remember my full body weight came down on my left arm, and my elbow just shot right out of the socket.
Oh, that doesn't sound too good.
No, it wasn't too good. So I was out for quite a while with that injury. And then when I finally got the all clear, it was the same day where we were kind of going back into like the second lockdown. So I was like, I could go to training for one session, or I could go out and celebrate the fact that my arm seems to be fixed. So I ended up going out and celebrating. And I was like, I can get back to wrestling then once this lockdown lifts again.
And so I'm just going to get to some of our viewers here. So Scenic Spots asks, comments and asks, what's your favourite indie company in the British Isles?
Well, I can give you my favourite one to work for and my favourite one to watch. So my favourite one I would have to have said that I've worked for would be Exposure, because I would say the promoter Nigel has always taken care of me, and I've had some of my favourite matches in Exposure, which is actually based in South Wales. And then I think I'd have to say that my favourite one to watch would probably be TNT. I haven't had the chance to wrestle for them. I'm on like a bit of a break at the minute, but fingers crossed, maybe one day I'll have a wee match there.
You never know, you just dream big, but TNT Extreme Wrestling, they're quite good and they'd be lucky to have you.
Yeah, like I just think that the style they have and the storytelling they have in that promotion is just, very, very engaging, very good.
TZS Videos asks, where have you been wrestling lately?
So I'm kind of on a bit of a break at the moment, so I'm hoping at some point I'm be able to get back to it. At the minute, I'm just like taking a break from it just to clear my head. Had a few health issues recently, and then like I'm hoping once I'm working on getting my driving, so I think once I get my driving, I'm gonna try out probably a new school and see what I can learn from training with people that I haven't usually trained with before.
Yeah, it's always good to reach out. And my dad, Darren Whiteside, it says we met a couple of your colleagues when we had Keaton's co-host over in Belfast. Are you a bit of a historian outside of wrestling?
Yeah, I'm a big historian, so I actually do a lot of tour guiding as my normal work. So I am a bit of an expert on the Titanic, because Titanic's been a bit of a special interest for me. But I've also do tours around general Belfast, and I've been doing a few Game of Thrones ones recently, but I'm actually like the biggest history nerd ever. And not that long ago, I actually graduated from Ulster University because I did a foundation degree in tour guiding. So I'm actually the youngest person to have completed that, which I'm really proud of.
Yeah, it's a good accomplishment. And I'm just going to get their watch along here. So we've put in a couple of your matches that you requested to be in. So just let me get it quickly. So the first match is Katie Harvey versus Skye James. This match was pretty good.
I actually was having a horrible day before that match, because I actually thought I was going to have to pull out.
Next semi-final of the Titanic Wrestling Women's Championship. Here comes the former queen.
Sorry, go ahead. It's the sound was up there.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, like, I was actually having a horrible morning before this match, because I had like a bit of a stomach bug, so I wasn't even sure if it was going to make the show. But I was so glad I did. Like, I really wanted to, because I hadn't got to work with Katie, and I'd always looked up to Katie, so I was so excited for this match.
And did it meet your expectations after it?
I felt like I could have done much better in the match. Like, I don't think it was the best match that he ever had, but I would say I am very critical of myself.
Katie must have been so good to work with as well. She's been around the game a long time.
Yeah, like honestly, like Katie's basically like one of the pioneers when it comes to Irish wrestling, like in general, not even just women's wrestling. And she's really set the standard for women's wrestling in Ireland, I believe. Um, Definitely one of the best in the ring that we have.
Yep, and there she is, Skye James. So I believe that this is something that a lot of people don't know. You have your Welsh pride flag there, so I believe you're um, half Welsh.
Yeah, so my dad's actually from Wales, where my mum's actually from Belfast. But whenever I was born, they were living in Wales, so I ended up actually being born over there. But I like to, have that flag because I like they kind of have that Welsh identity. And do you know what? We have the coolest flag ever when you're Welsh because, like, what's cooler than a dragon?
So true.
So I do like to show it off.
And so then maybe so when you were doing the punk rock character, at what point did you realize that maybe doing the rainbow gimmick was better?
Um, well, I kind of just wanted to try and kind of, at the time, like, I didn't really see any other wrestlers who were female and were out. And I was like, maybe I could be the one that, if people came to shows, they would see me and maybe be able to identify with me. So I just decided to I still kind of kept the punk rock vibe, but I just decided to make myself the Rainbow Rebel because I kind of already seen myself as a rebel. And I was like, well, I like my bright colors. I like, I'm very proud of who I am. So why don't I take the rainbow flag and add it into my nickname and become the Rainbow Rebel?
Makes sense. So I suppose you're an inspiration to you know women wrestlers. Especially the ones who want to come out and show who they really are.
I'd like to think maybe I've inspired a few people, hopefully.
You sure have. Um, so working with Katie. So you mentioned they're not. You could have made some things a bit better, but what was your favorite thing about this match? Like, what was your favorite thing in this match?
Um, I can't really remember an awful lot from the match. Like, I remember the way the match finished, and I kind of wanted to push for it that I had, like, that the finish would still show that I had fight in me, so that if we wanted to pick up like a storyline later on, we could. So I'm kind of happy about the fact that we managed to include that. And I really find this match to be quite fun because, like, Katie's a fantastic storyteller, and I feel like I did actually quite well with the storytelling in this match because, I was learning from her as we were, doing the match.
Hmm. I know, and when I interviewed a guy called Drew Onyx, he always says go with alpha males, and you done that exact same thing. You learned from Katie Harvey, one of the um, I suppose one of the best in all of Irish wrestling. And did you learn a lot from it?
I definitely did. Like, I just think Katie's just a brilliant. Like, she's also, not only is she one of the best women's wrestlers in Ireland, she's one of the best coaches in Ireland. Full stop. Like, she's one of the head coaches at Fight Factory, and I think that the level of talent that has came out of Fight Factory really speaks for itself. Like, she's a phenomenal coach and she's a phenomenal wrestler.
Absolutely.
And I was like, when I knew I was going to be working with her, I was like, I need to take this opportunity and like listen to her as best I can whenever we're, working together and putting this match together because this is like a really, really good learning opportunity. And I knew that at the time.
And you're always open to learning new things from experienced wrestlers then?
Not even just experienced wrestlers. Like, I would say you can learn something from everybody that you work with. Because I've even worked with people who's had like less experience than me, and I've learned stuff from them. Because like, you go somewhere else and you wrestle someone that maybe had different trainers than you, and they've been trained in a different style to you, and like they can come off with something. It can be even something small, like how you take a certain pin, and you're like, I actually really like that, and I'm going to do that from now on. So I feel like you just always have to keep your mind open, no matter who you're working, and see, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this match to make the next match better?
Exactly. Oh, I like that move there.
Yeah, that one was
Crucifix in
always.
the.
I actually think it might have been up with Nathan. I might have learnt that one.
With Nathan?
Yeah, because I actually did a few sessions up with Nathan like a few years back, and I have to say, like, I did feel like I learned from those sessions, and like there was a few little things that I started kind of including in each of my matches that I'd like actually learned up there. Like, I'd actually say I'm a big advocate for, if you're at a training school, I don't think you should stick to just training at that training school. I feel like when you go out and you train at other training schools, you're going to learn some new things.
Yeah, Nathan's a great coach. I've obviously been training under him for a couple of years as well.
Yeah, like, he's so good with his guys. Like, you know, I'm looking forward to watching your debut, because I know you're doing your debut. You're showing that after we finish today, so I'm gonna have to find a match and catch up on that, because I'm sure you did amazing. Like, I remember
Yeah.
hearing from Ricky and John how well you were doing at the training up there.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it went okay. Like, yeah, it was quite nervous, before it.
I know, like, when you have your first match, it's honestly nerve-wracking, and then, like, you just constantly feel like you need the toilet for some reason, which is so annoying. Did you get that nerves? Yeah.
Oh yeah, so much nerves. It like where I didn't even really speak. I was just so nervous.
I remember when my first match, like, people kept feeding me sugar, because they were like, you're like literally just gonna be full of adrenaline and full of excitement when you go out, so you just need to kind of keep your energy up.
Right. I've never heard that one before. And so you trained under Nathan and different people, and you said there that you trained under different people. So whereabouts did you meet Enzo? Because I know you're quite good friends with him. So what training school was that?
That was actually in PW. So he came in whenever we opened up the school on the Boucher Road, and he was actually in the first beginners class. And me and him have just been best friends ever since.
And you can tell you went a tag team with Enzo, weren't you?
Yeah, we were in a tag team very briefly. Unfortunately, it was kind of a rough time for us. We ended up having like a bit of a fallout for reals, and then luckily, we managed to make up, and we're actually closer now for it. But at some point, I think, if we got the chance, we'd probably love to try and do the tag team thing again, and be able to actually enjoy it this time, enjoy actually getting to work with each other, because honestly, anytime we were getting to work together in the rain of training, we used to always bring out the best out of each other when we were getting to work together at training.
Yeah, and when seeing you and Enzo were really good friends, and you would have been a really, really good tag team, even though it was briefly. You could tell, with the moves that you could do, you both knew each other quite well. So do you think that's
Yeah.
maybe why he is? So now that you know Enzo a bit better, and with being his best friend, do you think because do you think your tag team worked out so well because of your chemistry, your in-ring chemistry with him?
Yeah, because we just knew each other's styles so well. Like, we basically trained together, like, the whole time we were in wrestling together. There was a split time where I was in a different wrestling school to him, but I very quickly talked him into coming to the same wrestling school as me. But yeah, we had amazing chemistry together in the ring, and even when we were working against each other in the ring, like whenever we got the odd training match, we used to beat the crap out of each other, because we weren't really afraid to, accidentally clipped each other with a strike. We just we're having great fun with it.
Yeah, and that's maybe what's good about training with your friend or something. You're not afraid to hit each other.
Yeah, and then you're not really afraid to try new things, because you kind of have this trust in the ring with each other.
Yeah. Sorry, the sound always goes up on that when you put on a video.
It's dead on.
So now we're seeing you facing off against probably one of the most famous wrestlers, famous female wrestlers in Britain, or the UK, Amira Blur.
Amira is always fun to work with.
Mm-hmm.
She's an
doing quite well
amazing
for herself.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she is so talented. Like, and I think she's doing fantastic valet work as well. And like, I think valet work's very underrated because like it honestly can really amplify the person that is in the ring that they're valeting for. It's an art in itself as well.
Yeah, you know, you don't really see it as much now. You started with Miss Elizabeth and Randy Savage, but now Amira Blur's kind of bringing it back, and she's, you never know, she's maybe doing just as good as Miss Elizabeth did.
Oh no, she definitely is. She knows how to add to the story and amplify the story, and she does a very, very good job of making her partner look really, really, really good in the ring. So like I definitely think she's kind of mastered that art of being in a valet. And like yeah, like I can't there's been a few like since, like I would say other than Amira, the most recent one I think that done a really good job was Lana when it came to Rusev.
Yeah, that's, I know we can't really think of much more apart from Lana and Rusev, maybe Miz and Maurice. And
Oh yeah, Maurice is, and then Scarlett.
Scotty, yeah, with Karen.
Yeah. Like I do think valets are, you know, that they really do add to it. They really do. But she's also fantastic in the ring. Like I always find Amira quite easy to work with. And she can really add so much personality to a match. Like I felt like she was kind of bringing out some of the best character work on me because I knew she had such a big personality and I knew I had to really amplify myself to keep up with her, which again is something that I learned, and then I can put that in the matches even when I'm not wrestling someone who has as big a personality as Amira. Because it is a skill. You know, she will always be able to get a reaction out of the crowd.
I know, and there's something in that, obviously, it proves how good she is. Would you ever consider being a valet?
Yeah, possibly. Like, I've considered doing valet work, or I've actually considered even doing refereeing at some point. Because I actually wanted to be a referee before I wanted to be a wrestler at one point.
What did you find better about refereeing than wrestling?
Because you get the best spot in the house to watch a wrestling match.
True. And you don't have to go through, I know sometimes you have to go through some bumps, but most of the time you don't have to go through too much heavy bumps.
Exactly.
Fair point. So you would consider doing all jobs in wrestling, not just being a wrestler then?
Yeah. It's just fun to be around it.
And what was your favorite part about wrestling with Amira? Was there a certain spot or a certain thing that you liked about wrestling with Amira?
Honestly, I just think you know, just working together with her was fun. Just, you know, kind of her personality as a whole.
She's really energetic, I suppose.
Yeah, like she brings out, like, cause she's so energetic, like it makes me feel energetic, you know, whenever I was doing the match, and she's always so hyped. She's always so hyped for a match, so it also makes you feel really hyped for the match. And like I say, she's very good at listening to suggestions and stuff, and you know, she really valued what I kind of wanted to do with the match and the story that I wanted to tell, and she really wanted to add to that story that I wanted to tell, which I really, really appreciated. Because obviously, this match was the heel turn that I ended up doing, and I was actually really nervous about turning heel, but she kind of really talked me around to it.
Mm-hmm. And I believe this heel turn later led to being in the bar merger, or was that before that?
Well, it kind of became the bar merger after me. That was kind of like one of the few weird booking decisions I didn't really understand was I kind of helped them out in a match. Then the next show I wasn't with them, but I was kind of backstage. And then we ended up doing the gel match after this. But to be honest with you, I was kind of happy to get the gel match because I genuinely think the gel match is one of my best, if not my best match that I've had.
Yeah, it was good. So now we're seeing the heel turn of Skye James.
Yeah.
So what was the thing that maybe worried you the most about turning heel?
I don't know. I was just kind of like, I'm always so happy to be in the ring, and you can kind of get away with smiling when you're a face. And I was kind of worried I wasn't going to be able to switch the smile off when I was playing heel.
Yeah, that's understandable. So then maybe when you got in the swing of things of being a heel, what do you think was what do you think was your favorite part about it?
It was kind of fun whenever I was getting a reaction from the crowd. Like, any reaction's a good reaction. And when they were booing me, I was like, I'm doing something right here. I'm playing the character that I'm meant to be playing. So I kind of always felt a bit smug about it whenever people were booing me. I remember there was actually a show that I was doing over in England, and I was playing a heel over there. And one of the kids actually threw a can of silly string at me. And I remember just hearing the thud behind me, and I turned around and I just seen the can sitting there, and I was like, thank God that didn't hit me. But then I was also like, well, I've made that kid hate me so much that they've just threw a metal can at me.
That just proves you've got over as a heel then. What do you think the worst thing you've ever done to get over as a heel?
Well, it was actually that same show. There was like a kid in a Manchester United top, and I still am. I'm actually a wee bit embarrassed to admit that I even said this because I'm a Man United fan, and I walked right up to him and I said that Manchester City was better.
I just the same kid that hit you with silly string.
Yeah.
Well, now you can kind of understand.
To be fair, if roles were reversed, I probably would have threw the can of silly string.
And it just proves how good you were getting over as a heel then.
Yeah, it could be good fun, like.
And so you were saying Amir Blair kind of convinced you to turn heel. So what did she
Well,
kind of do?
she didn't. I was already having to do it, but I was like having second thoughts where I was kind of like, I don't really want to. And then she was the one that was like, no, like I've seen you play heel at training. You can do the heel character, because I just wasn't really confident that I was actually going to be able to do the heel character, because I thought I'd be like one of those heels that turns heels and then goes from getting cheered from people to just getting no reaction. But she was like, no, you'll get a reaction. You'll get people booing you. And she was very good with me over it.
I know Amir Blair is just fantastic. I know I've already been through that, but I just want to let that out again. And also, I just want to promote you a wee bit here by doing this. So, you can, if you want to follow Skye James, you can follow her at Skye Wrestling. If any companies want to book her, which is very highly recommended, you can book her at Skye Wrestling at yahoo.com to book the Rainbow Rebel. And then you can get all your Skye James products at Skye J Wrestling, bigcartel.com. So Skye, you kind of have like a lot of coaches say that you need to have a unique selling point, and you would see a lot of men coming out with pride characters, but I don't think you really see it as much of a woman. So that's kind of your unique selling point. So what do you think makes you different about being the Rainbow Rebel? What do you think made you like so much better?
I don't really know. I just feel like I just kind of went with the character, and like I've heard a few people say, if you don't know what character to do in wrestling, kind of take your own personality and turn it up by 10. And I feel like that's kind of what I've done with the character. It's basically just me switched up, and I probably come across quite authentic because of that. And maybe that's why people can maybe relate to me that way, because they can, see that it's authentic.
Absolutely, and you really do have a unique kind of character there, and that's what's got you so far in wrestling. I suppose that's why you're so good.
Yeah, and then there's kind of like the double meaning with the rainbow as well, because like I don't really talk about it as much because I always kind of feared how it would affect me getting booked. But I'm also on the autism spectrum, and like obviously the autism symbols, like the colored jigsaw pieces. So it kind of has that double meaning for me, having like the Rainbow Rebel character.
There's two double meanings with it as well. So that's awesome. You're kind of proud to both be both to be who you are. I suppose with two both things, you're proud to be who you are, which is incredible.
Yeah, like they just, it makes up what makes me. So I like to kind of, showcase that, and then, showcase, the people that you can be yourself. And especially like, I feel like the wrestling industry has gotten so open the last few years, because I remember when I first started kind of doing the character, like I remember there used to be they still do it, the QWI list, and they only used to do 100 wrestlers on it. And I remember being on it the first time they did it, and then now they do it as 200 wrestlers, and even with the 200, they're missing so many out every single year when they do it, because there's just so many wrestlers now that are out in Pride.
And how did it feel like to get that?
I felt really proud about it. Like I was so happy to kind of see, like, that I was making an impact, and to end up on a list like that, it made me realize maybe I was having more of an impact than I even realized sometimes.
Yeah, it makes sense, and you're doing very very well for yourself with that. And just have one more match to play here before you have to go. So this is the match that you've considered as your favorite match against Jungle Jill. 1 minute, I'm gonna have to turn the sound down.
With Keaton, and that's cool.
Ladies.
So this is my version of the video. Now explain this what's happening here.
So basically, like, the bar merger, Conan was my manager for a while. Sorry, Lucas Lloyd Ballard was my manager for a while. And he kind of had left me behind, and then he decided that I was not going to be, he wasn't going to be managing me anymore, and decided to get Jungle Jill to come and kind of sort me out.
So that's a cool story then with the bar manager then. And so Lucas Lloyd Barr was your manager. And how do you think that influenced your career much, being part of the bar merger?
Well, I'm very kind of good friends with Lucas Lloyd Barr outside of wrestling, so it was cool to work with him, because I came up with the idea of him managing me whenever I was told about turning heel, and then I came up with the Showbiz Skye James gimmick. So I was like, it would really fit for Showbiz Skye James to have a manager.
Makes sense.
And then he's just so good at that lawyer gimmick. Like it was, there's so many moments of training that nobody gets to really see, and like he just sold the character so well at training. So when it started translating on the shows, it was just amazing to see.
Yeah, it must have been. And this here is Jungle Jill, and what you considered your best match. Do you think it was the chemistry? Was there a certain chemistry that you had, or what made the match good? Do you think?
I think Jill was just very, very easy to work with. Like I'd be honest, walking into this, I wasn't feeling very confident. Like I was actually feeling quite low, and then as soon as I started kind of putting the match together, like that confidence kind of came back, and like I just kind of, when we were doing the match, like I felt on top of the world, to be honest. Like I felt like Jill was just so easy to work with. She was so easy to vibe with. Like I felt like the whole time we were on the exact same wavelength. And I was quite nervous about this, because it was actually like probably my first international opponent. Because Jill's actually from Belgium, so she would know like Katie pretty well, because Katie goes over to Belgium quite a lot. Like she was champion in I think Jill's home promotion for a while.
Could she speak English?
Yeah, no, she speaks English perfectly. Like you find like one of the things I love about Europeans is like especially like the wrestlers, like they can speak so many different languages and you're just like there and you can only speak English and you're just like, I really need to learn another language.
I know that's something
But
about Belfast. The Belfast don't have much second languages, where everyone else knows are the English.
yeah, we're like I've worked so many international wrestlers and they can speak like French, Spanish, German. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just there like I just about speak English.
Nice hurricane run there.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed doing that one. But I just find this match so much fun. Like I felt like I just had so much energy in it. And even like even whenever I came backstage, Enzo was right there and he came up to me and he said, I think that's the best match that I've seen you do. Like you seemed so confident.
That's good hearing that from a friend, I suppose.
Yeah, because he's honest. If a match was crap, he would tell me the match was crap.
You both would be like that with each other?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, that spot at the end, like that wasn't planned. I just decided that I was gonna chuck my jacket at him.
Made sense, you know. Scenic Spots, there's a photo of me and you. Scenic Spots
Yeah.
comments, you were great at Titanic.
Oh, thank you.
So now that we're coming into the end of the podcast, I want to thank you very much for coming on. You know, and happy Pride Month. You know, well done for being proud of who you are and stuff like that. But so for someone trying to get into wrestling that maybe thinks to themselves that they can't do it, or maybe they want to come out and want to do it as a wrestling gimmick, as a rainbow gimmick, what advice would you give to them?
Well, I'd say like, you know, if they're looking to get into wrestling, just kind of look into the schools that you want to go to and, you know, kind of try and pick a wrestling school that's going to be right for you. And like, don't even put yourself in a box with wrestling either. Like, try to go to, you know, you can have a school that is your main training school, but also try and go and train at other schools because you can learn so much by like training with different people. Like even in Northern Ireland on its own, like you've got Titanic where you can train with Tucker. You've got NXG where you can train with Nathan Hoy, who's been traveling internationally. And then we've obviously got the new school that Damien Corvin's opened, and he's got a lot of really top tier trainers there because Corvin himself is one of the best talents in Northern Ireland. Big demo, like his CV kind of speaks for himself. So like we have like so many people just in our little island that you can learn off, and then even going down to Dublin's not even that far. Like I used to enjoy sometimes going down to Fight Factory and getting to learn from the likes of Katie and Phil and LJ. So you know there's a lot of, you know, different places to go and train here. And as for like coming out and being yourself, like, you know, kind of if you want to do it, just make sure that you're ready to come out. Don't let anybody force you to come out, but if you want to kind of add that into your gimmick, like you can. It can be quite fun to kind of showcase that side of yourself.
Yep. And so you mentioned there Northern Irish wrestling, and I think women in Northern Irish wrestling is kind of growing, you know, with the Titanic roster and OTT roster. I know that they're not a Northern Irish based company, but they would come to Northern Ireland quite a lot with the likes of Session Moth. No, she's not, but she would come over to Europa and stuff. So women's wrestling is doing quite well in Northern Ireland. But as a whole, how do you see women's wrestling going?
Yeah, it's been very, very well. But I feel like you know, women's wrestling on the whole island is just, you know, it would be good to get to see like some of the promotions kind of mixing a bit more with the women's wrestling because I feel like we don't actually get to see a lot of crossover. Like we get to see some of the Fight Factory ones come up north, but we don't kind of get to see, you know, a mix because it would be brilliant to get to see some of the women that are on the Northern Ireland scene getting matches with the likes of Session Moth.
Yeah, And you know, Sessions could have so much matches against anyone. Which is incredible, and that's the way women's wrestling is at the minute in Northern Ireland. Even in WWE, you know, with Evolution, even just the women's division on its own is incredible. Like say Skye, Rhea Ripley, and people like that. And you're doing incredible for yourself as well with the Rainbow Rebel gimmick. I suppose it's not a gimmick; it's you. You know, the Rainbow Rebel,
Yeah,
and you're doing so well with yourself. So congratulations on how you're doing.
thank you.
And so what's next for Skye James?
Well, at the minute, I'm kind of on the break, as I said, so I've been kind of more focusing on my traveling. So, like, at the minute, I'm going on like a big backpacking trip. So I am, over 7 weeks in the autumn. So I think like maybe after that, I might look at going back to wrestling. Definitely at a new school because I would like to probably either go and train with Nathan or go and train with Corvin, someone who I haven't really trained with much in the past, because I feel like at this point for me to be a better wrestler, it's good to learn from people who I haven't really learned from before. So I think that would be probably my next step.
Okay, and I wish you all the best in that. Just before you go, so people will remember, you can book Skye James if you want to book her, which I would highly recommend. You can book Skye James on booking SkyJWrestling at yahoo.com. You can buy all your Skye James merch at SkyJWrestling .bigcartel.com, and I think that's it. But make sure to follow Skye James on all of her socials, and I wish you all the best in your future career.
Thank you, and I wish you the best as well. Hopefully that debut match you had's the first of many.
Yeah, hopefully. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Okay, and before we get to my match here for the next Kayfabe with Keaton, I have coming on Wildman Andy Roberts, who's competed across in WWE and WWE NXT UK, and he's even been a security guard on SmackDown, been speared by Roman Reigns. What an accolade that is, to be speared by Roman Reigns. And he's been coaching for over 20 years. He's an incredible coach and an incredible wrestler in the ring. So it'll be great to hear all his fantastic stories from even not even from in WWE, but just everything else about him. It'll be great to have Andy Wildman Roberts on as well. And looks like we'll have someone appearing here. The man himself, Crusher Crossing.
Kayfabe, or should I say Kid of Rock? Maybe that might be the better name now. No longer Wrestling Revolution Keaton, even though it says so.
Needs to be updated.
Needs to be updated, but Kid of Rock on IPW. Big match yesterday. And sorry I couldn't be here for the beginning. But yeah, so you had a big match and everything. And, Keaton, you had the first official NWF world title match in 40 years, as far as an actual, I should say defense. You got to fight for the defense of it, and you're the first. On your debut, how does that feel?
Feels awesome. You know, I've came on your podcast before, and I've explained to you that I knew what the NWF was. I've seen your matches, and I was highly influenced by the NWF, highly inspired, and to be wrestling for that belt is incredible. I never thought it would happen. You know, after 40 years, and I'm the first defense after 40 years. It feels incredible.
You know, it's very ironic that you obviously came across the NWF on the internet and stuff. We've all told that story several times, and then here it is. You get to have your debut match and fight for that belt. So let me ask you this, Keaton. Remember, first of all, who called you before that show?
Was you
on a video call?
Crusher Crossing.
That's right. Did you expect me to call you?
No, I didn't, but I wasn't surprised you called me, but I just didn't really expect it.
The reason I called you is because, and I know what you were going through, and I know exactly how those butterflies in your stomach and the nervousness and everything, and I knew you were going through it big time.
Yep.
And it's normal.
Really?
It is normal. But remember how I told you? What did I tell you that was going to happen when you go through that curtain and you get in the ring?
Yep, the energy will come through and the adrenaline.
Yep, and you'll start focusing, and that stuff will evaporate as far as the nerves. Is that how it went for you?
It really did, yeah. When it came through the ring, it was mostly just interested in trying to get into the ring. I knew I had to be energetic for the fans to like me, so I was just trying to be energetic. When I got into the ring, that's kind of when I calmed down and cooled down.
Yeah. Everybody's different. Some people stay nervous through the whole match, but most people do. That's how it is. You're just nervous until you get in that ring. And then it kind of all settles down as the match starts. So, what does it feel like for you in that ring, in there doing the actual match finally?
It felt incredible. We've been doing it for 3.5 years, and now it's finally paying off.
3.5 years of training, and really, what, 5 weeks or so now of extensive training just for this match.
Yeah, that training was bad. Well, not bad, but it was rough.
Yeah. And so, and it was really, guys, just to lift the curtain up a little bit, it was a little tough for Keaton because he didn't even get a chance to work with Ricky at all until Ricky was gone in Canada. So it's like, I was going to say Canary Kid, but well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But Ricky was in Canada, and we're just lifting the curtain up a little bit here, but that's, he had no chance to really work any spots or anything, or just any kind of anything. You had to go into it just like a wrestler would without having to be able to, that's how it is once you get going. You just have to jump in the ring with people that you may have not been in the ring with before.
Yeah.
You've trained with Ricky, but I mean, the point is he didn't get to go over any of the fun, that you had very little time, right?
Yep. And he still had to cheat his way in.
So yeah, as we talk in character here, we'll talk about that when we watch the match and stuff. We're going to watch the match, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of clear some things out of here, though, because we need to.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Actually, I have to have you do it. Like those things you got in there, because they only let us have so many things on the stage. So if you get rid of all those things that you brought in, because we don't need them anymore. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't. It's yours, so I can't get rid of it. Because they only have so much. They only give us so many spots.
Should remember to change that in a minute.
I'm talking about those 3 video things.
Yeah, it's only giving me the option to add at the stage. So, the 3 dots. I just said remove.
Yeah, remove. There you go. There you go. A little backhand work here, guys. So yeah, what we're gonna do is when I bring the match and stuff, we're gonna watch the match. It's gonna be first look at it. This is Darren's footage that he always has with the cell phone. I believe you have some. I don't have it yet, but there's it's in the drive, but I haven't had a chance to get it. But there's GoPro footage as well that you have, and I believe there's another camera somewhere too that somebody had on a phone.
Yeah.
So you have like several angles.
It was it's a guy who I haven't seen in a while, but he bought tickets for it.
Yeah. So I'd like to eventually get that footage too, and then we can do like a nice edit for forward next week when Ricky comes back. Well, I try to get that done this week if I can, and then we can watch kind of more of an edited look to it. Yeah, it might be a while before Mitch gets us their pro version, but yeah. So it's like, and you guys were intermission match, which means you went in right after the intermission, right?
Yep.
And that's a pretty good spot to be in the show.
It's a good spot to be, but being there straight after the 15-minute countdown, and then people are expecting more good wrestling. It's good for them, and I don't know if it's good for me.
Well, I've seen the match, and remember I told you there's 2 things that anything that any of us could ask of you. What were the 2 things? You remember what I told you?
Gosh, I'm going to be honest with you here. I didn't really remember much.
Yeah, because you were nervous.
Yeah,
there were two big things. So I said, have fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just do the best. Do your best. It's all anybody can ask of you. Have fun and do your best. So, did you have fun?
Yeah, and I think I done my best as well.
And you did your best. That is all anybody can ask of you starting out, especially at a young age. So, and all the hard work and all the hard training that finally paid off. Now, now that you did a match, do you kind of want to get in there again?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Supposed to get back into Canary Kid.
You were the big fan of him, right? You were the big cheerleader for Canary and everything. And I told you once upon a time, you may have a different tune once you have to face him in the ring and these things happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that conversation?
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I expected it to be a nice friendly Canary kid. Now I wasn't saying I expected him to take it easy on me. I expected it to be a professional, respectful match. Yet he tries to hit me up the head with a guitar. Don't think I went too respectful.
Yeah, what I've seen happen here ever since I did this title match is Ricky put on a good song and dance and good dog and pony show for me, doing all the right things, and now he's slipping right back into the old Canary Kid.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see this, guys. We'll watch the match and we'll let you guys judge for yourself and see what you think. Should we bring it in, Keaton, and start watching it?
Yeah, might as well. Can you do it from your end?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it on my end. That way it'll play smooth because I can play videos a bit smoother with I have a little better connection here. So let me find it here. And we'll start watching this thing. Let's see here. Okay, I believe this is it.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, I hope it works. Otherwise, I'll have to get it again, but it should. I'm gonna get the audio down. There you go. Looks like it's playing, right? Huh? Playing for you?
Yeah, to me.
All right. Guys, for your watch, and let us know if the audio is good. We're always wondering if the audio is too loud. Does it sound all right on your end, Keaton?
Yep, sounds fine.
Johnny's so loud, Johnny. Such a loud ring announcer.
But I remember you when I'm going up behind the curtain here. I remember you saying in one of your documentaries when I was watching you before, you kind of like your highlight of your whole career was kids going up and asking you for autographs.
What was that? Kids going on? What was that?
Asking you for autographs.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. When I went outside, there's so many kids asking me to send their T-shirts, autographs, pictures.
Well, that's pretty cool, huh?
Really, yeah, probably the highlight.
That's quite a feeling. I know exactly what you were going through there. Nothing like it.
So guys, I would say big debut coming up next. So you guys want to get
a lot of my family were in the crowd, so I got the blame of a lot of the wrestlers not getting as big a pops as they should have.
Yeah. And not only that, I was telling Nathan, it looks like there's more people here than ever. It really looks packed in there.
Well, I brought about 11 of my family and friends.
Yeah. Introductions. Well, it looks like Canary's coming out first. Was that by design?
It actually wasn't supposed to happen. I think it might have been the way Nathan played it or something.
Yeah, because generally the champion would come out second, typically.
I know. I was actually standing right behind the curtain, ready for my music to hit, and then Canary came out.
Yeah.
The music. I think disrespectfully is.
I don't know what he just said to Johnny there, but he said something.
Well, because Johnny said it's for the NWF World Championship, not World Heavyweight, and that's why he slapped his mic and told him.
Oh, I see.
Do you know what entrance team I picked?
Well, I know what it is. You don't want me to say it, do you?
No, I'm just interviewing you.
Yeah.
You'll see in a minute.
I know the song and everything. Everybody waiting in anticipation here. Yeah, Ricky not used to hearing any kind of booze like this, huh?
Nope, not used to it.
Not as much as he got. I think he got more booze here than ever, huh?
You better get used to it. So nervous going through that curtain. I just had to try and get in.
I bet.
Me was just hand out high fives and try to get in and try to look energetic.
So your wrestling uniform that you got and stuff, where did you get it?
trying to remember the name of the place. I know where I got my boots. It was from Decathlon. I can't remember the place where I got the leggings.
Yeah. And then you got the top then and leggings separate places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The top is just a Guns N' Roses t-shirt.
Yeah. There's so much smoke in there, it's hard to even see where Ricky went.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referees will enter the ring shortly. Before then, your introductions. This is a singles match scheduled for one fall. One fall! And it is for the NWF World Heavyweight Championship.
Is Nathan the ref?
Yeah, Nathan's the ref.
I thought so.
Making his debut in NIPW, weighing in at 110 pounds of solid muscle. A YouTube sensation with an appetite for destruction. He is from the capital city, the jungle city of Belfast. Please welcome the King of
I realized I should have set up the turnbuckle for a couple more seconds.
Yeah. I bet you were nervous too, I'm sure.
Wasn't really thinking about any of that. Heart and soul of nothing. What heart and soul is there to hit someone up the head with a guitar?
Yeah, the crowd seems to be into it and everything, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nathan holds the belt up.
Have you seen this? Or is this your first time seeing this?
No, I've seen it.
Okay.
Watched it a few times, actually.
There's a traditional boot check.
Yeah, Nathan's following through with the same thing. Yep, that's good. Doing a pat down and everything. Yep. So here we go, folks.
Bell has been rung and the match is underway.
Yep, the bell's rung and Keaton getting the crowd going. So, how was it then working with Ricky, knowing that you didn't get a chance to work with him hardly at all? Was it compared to training and preparing and practicing as much as you could for this match?
I didn't think it would have worked out as well as it did.
As it did?
Because I didn't get as much training and stuff, I didn't expect it to work out as well as it did.
And I imagine right about now you're probably just focused on the match and all those nerves and butterflies have probably went away.
They did.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's your dad obviously getting the crowd going too, huh?
Yeah.
He learned from Keaton, everybody. Somebody's got to do it if you're not out there. He goes to a full Nelson.
Keaton.
Yes, Keaton. Woo! Come on, Keaton.
Yes, Keaton.
So you guys are doing lots of like chain wrestling and stuff.
Yeah. Kind of wrestling you like.
Yeah.
Let's go, Keaton. Let's go. Let's go, Keaton. Let's go. Let's go, Keaton. Let's go.
Could you hear the crowd and stuff when you were like in there? Could you hear him doing the chants and cheers and everything?
This video was just us. Yeah, I was more in the zone, so I heard the chants, but like my nanny told me that she was shouting loads of things, you know, Ricky and at me and stuff, but I didn't hear any. But I was just in the zone. Apparently, everyone was squealing really loud. I didn't really hear much.
Well, it's funny. I asked that question, and here this comment was at the same exact time. I didn't even see that, but I was asking the exact same thing just there. Did you notice that?
Coincidence?
Yeah, I didn't even see that comment. So yeah, Canary Kid's first title defense. While he brought the belt to Canada, there was no title defense for him over there.
No, there
But
wasn't.
he, so his first title defense is right now, and which means your former idol here did a good job for the first 60 days sitting on that belt.
He did, yeah. Disgrace. And he tries to have his first title defense against me, and what does he do? He works on the knee. So he can't just go for a fight. He has to hurt on my bad knee, and then later he goes in with the guitar.
Yeah, he's working on the knee. I told you that Ricky Henry, and I'm saying that intentionally, guys. Ricky Henry is going after that knee because this is exactly what he did with Ben Nelson.
Disgrace.
When perhaps he felt he might have been in trouble.
Yes, Keaton.
And that's when he should have broke the hold there, ref. I'm so sorry. Like, look at this slow count. This was way over a 10 count.
Yeah, you should have a 5 count. Keaton, that's one of the things. You have a 5 count. I can't argue on there. It's okay to go to the 4 count because that's the rules. And I did it too. We all do it. That's something you'll learn with time. The thing is, Keaton, you do that as well. Just don't break. Just make sure you break it before that 5 count. See, that's what I was saying, Keaton. You just, this is. I know you've worshipped and loved this Ricky all this time. He's been your mentor almost, and when you get in a match for a belt that he has that he cherishes, it's going to be a different Canary Kid. It's a Barracuda in there now.
Well, still, I didn't expect him to go easy on me. I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I did not expect him to try to get a guitar shot at me.
He keeps working that knee now again.
Come on, Keaton.
Go, Keaton. Don't give up, Keaton.
This is because he knew he was in the danger zone. He didn't want to lose to a 13-year-old kid.
Let's go, Keaton.
He very well could have. Now he's got your guitar.
Don't you
Yep.
dare, Canary.
He just broke it
That
in half. That wasn't supposed to happen?
That wasn't supposed to break.
1,
And there was-
2, 3, 4.
And
that
your
was a fast-
new
Nathan
And
Hoy,
the
that was
last
a fast count there, Nathan, buddy.
NWF champion. That's what it should have been.
But Nathan did count it pretty fast though. But you had him, Mike. You had him. But I'm just saying when Nathan did start making the count, it went pretty dang quick.
Please don't tub. Please don't tub.
And there he goes. His safety there with the figure 4 leg lock. Boy, Keaton, if he ever tried doing that to me, he'd be in trouble. One of these days, Ricky's going to try that move to somebody that knows better, and he's going to learn the hard way.
What are you trying to say, Crusher?
What's that?
What are you trying to say, Crusher, to somebody who knows better?
Because you're just new still in your training. You don't understand how to reverse. That's all. It's not no offense, Keaton, but when you do learn how to reverse a figure 4 leg lock and you get it reversed on you, you'll never want to put that on anybody again. Just saying. Nice belt.
Well, of
Yeah.
course you would say that.
It's a nice belt with the cheap shot that he did, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we should turn the audio up when he starts talking. I'll put it up when he gets the mic. Kind of waiting for him to start. All right. Let's hear what he says.
Two heavyweights in the ring. What you just saw there was a showcase of what a real champion looks like. I don't hear you idiots chanting the Kid of Rock's name anymore in my promotion. You can chant all you want, but that doesn't change the fact that your Kid of Rock just had big and run his own family. He top. He didn't just quit on himself. He quit on all of you. And you are so thick that you still cheer him. Over someone like me.
You suck.
Let me just remind you all what I've done for this place. You all paid to see me, so stop lying to yourselves. I've done so much for you people. I took this championship all the way to Canada. I did it all the way to Portugal. I put this brand on the map, and you will treat me as such. So from now on, the Canary Kid is dead. You and I are witnessing a new era. The era of the Globetrotter. Ricky Henry. I put this place on the map. I am a Globetrotter, goddammit. I'm alongside my protege, Dylan Clark, the only man to ever take the hard punch and survive. We will take over as Canary Ireland. Ladies and gentlemen, your captain is out of the building.
Oh boy. All right. So there we go. That's the match. I don't know, Keaton, if you're coming back or if we lost you there. Are you there? Keaton? There you are.
Back now.
So yeah, there we have it. Keaton, Canary Kid is dead. Did you hear that? He's dead. And now we have the Globe Trotter. Ricky
I'm not going to wish. I'm not meaning I'm going to wish death on the guy because that's bad. But what I mean is, I wish death that he doesn't come back to NIPW. Like I wish death that he doesn't return to NIPW.
Well, it looks like he has. And you know, I had this feeling, I suspected we were going to see this when I seen how he was treating me in the last few shows. If you notice how he's been acting with me on Forward and everything when he's popped in to take John's spot, I don't know, a while back. And he's also been coming in the comments. And I had a feeling that this rendition of Ricky Henry was going to show up. And sure enough, he did.
Well,
But you know what, Keaton? You almost won the championship.
technically it did because, but if you heard that someone had their shoulders down for 3 seconds, would you not be thinking, "Oh, this guy's won the championship"? Because I won the match, 5 count, but still somehow I didn't win the championship. I'm not blaming it on the referee. I'm blaming it on the Canary Kid. But thankfully Nathan stopped him from when he was going to hit me up the head with a guitar. Thankfully somehow in luck the guitar broke before it broke right over my head.
Yeah, it broke in like half. Ricky broke the guitar. He broke it. Yeah, shame on him. But no, he was up to his dirty bird of tricks, and you know, if you wanted to use that argument though, Keaton, then I would have to say Ben Nelson's the champion as well. Because Ben Nelson had him pinned for about 8 seconds, just like you did. Technically,
yeah.
See, that's one of those situations where Keaton doesn't want to have to admit that one, but it's true.
Well, to be fair, Crusher, you're all right, because I can't say that I won the championship and Ben Nelson didn't with the same kind of results. So I'll just have to say, yeah, technically.
But the honest answer here is that if the ref doesn't count it, it doesn't count. So if the ref doesn't count it, that's what it all comes down to. And Nathan wasn't there; he missed it.
Well,
so, here's a question that I don't know if we've seen. Mighty Molly says, "Super Sunset Flip. Did he hit you hard?"
Yes, he did indeed. He hit me quite hard. But I'm used to being hit hard, in training and stuff with the Canary kid. But he takes me into my limits, and I was fine with that. But getting to the point where you're going to cut a promo and do things like this on me and disrespect me in that way and try to hit me up the head with a guitar, that's when it gets wrong. Thankfully the guitar broke before he broke it over my head. But yes, he hit me hard, Mighty Molly, and thank you for the nice words about the sunset flip.
Yeah, not only that, what we've seen here, everybody, was Ben Nelson 2.0. He went and used that same strategy that he used on Ben and started going after Keaton's knee, as we've seen, because that's what Canary, Ricky Henry, the Globetrotter does when he's in trouble. He panics. And when he panics, he starts doing whatever he can to win. And that's the easy street. So what he did is he goes after the bad, makes your knee sore enough, keeps going after it, and then slaps the figure four leg lock on. And like I'm telling you right now, Keaton, you don't know how to do it. If I ever get out there again, I will teach you. But when that figure four leg lock gets reversed, have fun with that, Ricky boy, because that's going to happen one of these days. He keeps going to that move, and you're going to find out sooner or later. One of these days, somebody's going to teach you what happens with that move. It's a risky move to do when you go against somebody who knows what they're doing on that. I'm not trying to discredit you, Keaton. I'm just saying, when you know how to get out of submissions like Crusher Crossan does, it's a different story. So, but you did good, Keaton. You did good. It was a good match for you, and it was a good debut. You didn't win the belt, but you did really well for yourself, and you have to be feeling very happy. I bet you were buzzing from ear to ear, from what I understand, the whole way home after you left the dojo. And
yeah, did my dad say that?
Yep, your dad told me that, and couldn't stop talking about it, actually.
Yep, still talking about
it. You mentioned too that it were really cool because you have people wanting to sign they wanted your autograph and stuff, other kids and stuff, and that must have made you feel really special.
Yep, felt good.
Yeah.
Really good. Felt so like it was probably the highlight of the night.
Sure. And so now, I don't know. Who knows when the next plan will be? I don't know if is there any other future plans for Kid of Rock or NPW or anything?
Well, yeah, I think there is. I can't let too much away because shows haven't been announced and stuff. But yeah, I think there is a lot coming in the future.
All right. Well, that sounds good, and I'm sure you'll announce anything that happens here, right?
Yeah.
On the channel.
And of course, I see on the presenter infit thing. Do you have a reaction after the match? Because I thought we put that in.
I don't see it. Let me see. I got that. I don't have your reaction though. Do you have it?
Because Johnny McElroy done a thing about me.
Oh, that interview you're talking about.
I thought we put that bit in.
Well, I have it here. Let me see if I can get it downloaded.
Because put in.
That was from YouTube, it looks like. I think. Or no, it's not. It's just a video. Let me see if I can get this. I think I can. Let me see. All right, let's give it a shot.
So guys, Johnny McElroy
I hear
here,
it, I
fresh
don't
off
see
a
it.
massive breakout for him. What a show it was. We'll waste no time. Please welcome the man that made his debut
There we
today.
go. There we go. See it,
The
Keaton?
kid of
Not yet.
rock, Keaton.
Thanks, Johnny.
Playing over here.
Keaton, I can see
Okay,
yourself
see you now.
disappointed. Listen, it was your debut. You went out there today. First match, NWF World Heavyweight Championship match. Didn't go your way. Talk to me about it.
You know what, Johnny? I put on one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life, right? I've been on showcases after showcase. I've been training so hard, and the next minute I go in and face the Canary Kid. I was so pleased about it, and now look, I've been screwed out of another title match. And now look, 1, 2, 3. Is this not the rules in wrestling? Everybody knows this. 1, 2, 3. That was a 5 count, and it didn't matter. But it doesn't matter. I will be back. I will be back, and I will be back for the Canary Kid. So the next time someone thinks, oh, he's the champion, oh, he's the champion, I'm the champion. I'm the one who got the 3 count.
Listen, you're emotional. We know what the adrenaline is like whenever you're out there, especially in your first match. So I understand that you have a massive future ahead. So Keaton, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to step off camera. I want you to look at that camera, tell the Irish wrestling fan base and the NIPW fan base what the future holds for the Kid of Rock, Keaton.
I'll be back. I'll be back for the Canary Kid, and each one lines up, and I tear them down, because I am the Kid of Rock. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank everyone for coming, because this isn't the last time you'll see me, trust me. I'm sorry that didn't go our way, but all the Kid of Rock fans, this isn't the last time you'll see me, and I promise, victorious next time.
You're in a fucking...
Whoa, there we go. Setting the record straight, I would say. There we go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was you were fired up there. That was outside the dojo with Johnny.
Yep.
So yeah, that was Keaton all fired up and revving to go here. You know, I'm only chuckling because I told you all along, Keaton. If Ricky does this stuff to you, you're going to be thinking differently, and you are thinking differently now. Not the same Ricky Henry, is it? That you knew.
Yeah, well, I can't really argue back with that. You're right.
But I tell you something though, you'll learn from this, and next time it might be a different outcome. You never know. So, you know, it's pretty cool stuff to see. I just think it's cool that you got to have a debut match for the NWF Championship. I mean, maybe didn't win it, but it was cool to be able to say you had a match for it. So
Yeah, it's good.
pretty cool stuff. And I mean, I know you've been preparing for it, and you were nervous. I'm sure you were nervous all day long, just waiting.
I was.
Especially in the back when you got it when you can't, you got to wait in the back. Everything's set up. People are coming in, and you got to wait for the matches to get through, and you just want to get in there and get it done. Yeah, get out there. Did a lot of the guys talking to you back there though, and keeping you company and stuff?
Yeah, it was John McCann especially.
Yeah, John's good for that. He's really good. He's a good ear. He's a good ear, and he's a good listener, and he's a good talker. You know, when I came to Northern Ireland, you know who the first person was who came and seen me besides your dad? John McCann. Yeah. He doesn't even have a car, guys, and he made his way over to my hotel. Yeah. The Irish Grappler is another story, him and his heel tactics, but John McCann, the person, is a really good guy.
Yeah, he was in a triple threat match.
Yeah, how'd that match go?
I don't know. I couldn't see it.
I didn't watch. Did they have to monitor it for you though to see anything or no?
I haven't watched anything yet. But
No. They usually, like when I was there, they had a monitor in the back kind of area where we could see what was going on out there. They have anything like that?
I haven't seen any of that. No.
Oh, they didn't have that set up. So when we were there, because they were filming it and stuff, I think that's why we had a monitor, so we could watch the matches. They had a monitor to watch. Okay, so you didn't have that luxury then this time. It looks like. Sounds like. All right. Yeah. So you didn't see it and stuff, and so you probably don't know how it goes. There was lots of matches though. Gosh, there was how many matches? 7?
Yeah, 7, 6 or 7.
Yeah, I think 7. And the latest one that was added was what? Ben Nelson and Chris Mercer, I believe.
Yeah, that match probably went well.
Yeah.
I can't
What
really.
what match was after yours?
Was it? It was Star. I think it was the Stars in Line, Pure Filth, and North and West.
Oh, that triple threat tag team match. And then what was the main event?
Malice versus Stevie Fee.
Oh, Malice and Stevie Fee, huh?
It was cool. Well, I don't know, but I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
I snuck around the back to watch it, so I did.
And then after the show, when you went out and intermingled with all the fans, how was that experience?
So cool and surreal. Got everyone going up asking me for pictures and autographs and stuff. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that was neat. And how about you? I know you're as a diabetic and stuff. You have the sensor. Did you do anything to that to help protect it during the match or anything?
Yeah, I put tape around it. CBF give me some tape.
Yeah, and that work as far as keeping it protected. Yeah, because for those wondering, Ricky Henry ripped that thing off at one point in training at once upon a time.
Yeah, I'm not going to put the blame on him too much. I don't think it was.
I will. You don't have to. I'll put the blame on him for that. Okay. I'm going to blame him 100% for that. Shame on him for doing that. Him and his dirty paws got his hands on that and ripped that sensor right off. And I know those sensors. I used to use them myself. But as you can see, pressure crossing getting in the shape that I am not needing that sensor anymore right now.
Yep.
So, yeah. But
and Canary. You're right about Canary. Some people say everything someone touches turns to gold. Everything Canary touches turns to nothing. The NWF belt was sacred. It had the likes of Ace, Kid USA, Kelsey, Crusher Cross, and all these people. I'm not taking anything away from the Canary Kid. You've seen how much I've rooted for him, how much a great, incredible wrestler I think he is. But this kind of dirty wrestling was never expected with the NWF belt, and now look what he's doing.
well, he did take the belt to Canada. And the only bad thing is he just didn't get any. He didn't try to defend it though. He didn't defend it over there, but he did bring it.
He didn't try to defend it.
Well, I don't know if he tried or not, but I just know there was no title defenses for him. And I will say this, but he did bring it, and he wrestled over there. But I will say this: he has made a record. He's got a record, Keaton. You have to understand, Canary Kid has made an NWF record, and you know what that record is?
Nope.
We have a brand new record, and I'm going to announce it right now. The Canary Kid has set a new NWF record for the first 60 days with not any title defense. That is a record.
Yes. No, that is a great accolade, isn't it? Such a great accolade, not defending that belt, doing nothing with it. The only thing he can do with it is face a 13-year-old kid and try to beat him with a guitar up the head. That's the only defense he makes.
I will say this, though. He had a very good match in Canada that we know of. And he won. He did win. And we will say that. But it wasn't the championship was not on the line or anything like that. So as much as you might like to say he successfully defended the title, he didn't have it. It was a non-title match for all of them involved. So there's that. But he did go to Canada and he did bring the belt there. Just didn't defend it. So he set a record. 60 days, and he finally made a title defense. Back in the day, Keaton, there was a rule. You would get stripped if you didn't defend that title in 30 days. Did you know that?
Yep. I think you should still continue that.
It wasn't just our rule. That was like an old school rule.
I'd be happy if you still continued that.
But, when we get to Forward next week, I don't even know if I have the media assets in here. Probably should put one in here at least for the one that I have.
Yeah.
Since that's the show coming up. Let's see here where we go. Where would we go? Forward. Oh, it's always down below. Never can find it. Yeah, I'm bringing it in right now. Talk about our shows coming up. So the first one coming up is Forward, and it's going to be your favorite guy, the Canary Kid.
Ugh.
The return of the Canary Kid. Now, this is before I knew he's changing his name to the Globe Trotter. So I'm having to call him the Canary Kid here on this thumbnail, and that's just the way the Rumble crumbles. So he's back, and I'm sure he's going to be, shouting his mouth off. I haven't been too happy with Ricky and his mouth lately. He's been running it on me. And Keaton, that's just not a good idea for him. I don't know why he continues to do that. When I'm by him and when I'm close to him, he doesn't do any of this. But boy, when I get distance away, he just starts smack talking with me. Have you heard him?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's bad. And when we come over here, he's scared of anything.
Well, he tries to be respectful. The thing is, though, Keaton, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. I won't let that happen again. So he better, he thinks he's going to play nice and all respectful. If I ever come back and visit again, that ain't going to work.
I've said this over and over again. You do not mess with Crusher Crossing.
Now that is music to my ears. But I'll tell you something. You don't want to mess with Crusher Crossing, who is getting into physical shape that I am getting into. I mean, I haven't been this, Keaton, I'm the lowest I've ever been as far as weight goes.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I got only about 15 pounds to go until I hit my optimal weight for my height, which is not easy to do, but I'm gonna try to hit it. What else do we have coming up? Let me see here. Make sure I get the right one. There's two of them in here. I think, is it this one, Keaton?
Yep.
Is this next? All right. It's gonna be the Wild Man, Andy Roberts. Tell us about him.
So the Wild Man, I spoke about it a bit earlier, but now that you're on, I can tell you a bit about it as well. So Wild Man Andy Roberts has competed on WWE. He was on WWE NXT UK brand. He was a machine in WWE NXT UK. He's an incredible coach. Been over 20 years of experience, and has been. This is a good accolade. He's actually been speared by Roman Reigns. He continues to wrestle all over the world in places including NIPW, and he's very proud to be Welsh. So former WWE talent, we're getting on this one, which I'm very happy to be doing.
That sounds like it'd be a great interview. Now, a couple of things, guys. Going forward here, I just want to kind of announce, Keaton, I think, knows this. Going forward, Keaton is going to kind of take over this show. Kayfabe with Keaton is going to be with just Keaton going forward. I may still make cameos on then. I may still pop in. You won't always see the last of me. But for the most part, Keaton's going to kind of take over because he knows what he's doing, and it's going to kind of become his show. And he will be your main host with, he always has guests, so it'll always be somebody coming on with him.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to go. Now, I still can make a cameo appearance every now and then, and I probably will here and there. But Keaton, you have officially graduated from Pressure Crossing's Podcast Academy. You know who hasn't graduated from Pressure Crossing's Podcast Academy yet?
He doesn't deserve to.
Ricky Henry. Because he still keeps shouting his mouth off. And until he learns respect, he will not have graduated from the Podcast Academy. But Keaton, just proving himself last night in the ring, has also proved himself on this podcast. And he will be taking over Wrestling Revolution with Keaton as your main host. So that's exciting news.
Yep.
All right. So that was a great show, Keaton. And
yeah, another guest I'm on a show. So this is.
Oh, I didn't know this was still. I seen because it said July 6th on the thing. I didn't know if that was accurate. I didn't know if that was old. Okay, little Ozzy.
So Tuesday, 5th of August. Little Ozzy from the Micro Wrestling Federation, who's actually been in loads of Hollywood movies. He's the biggest Ozzy Osbourne tribute band in the world. He's been seen by the likes of Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne. He's been on America's Got Talent and things like American Idol and stuff. But he's recently became a professional wrestler, and he's now on Micro Wrestling as Little Ozzy, and he performs on Micro Wrestling, sings, and also wrestles. So it'll be class to hear his stories, not just from wrestling, but his experiences all around even the entertainment business.
Yeah, that's a great interview. Should be good. Yeah, I didn't realize that because on the thing, the text that says July 6th, I thought it was an old one. I was confused. All right, so that's what we got coming up. So this coming Friday, of course, the NWF Forward is seen on NIPW's YouTube, the NWF YouTube, and the Instagram. And of course, the Kayfabe with Keaton podcast you find right here on the Wrestling Revolution Keaton YouTube channel. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us live, and We will see you next time we are live on either any of these shows that we do.
Bye for me.
See you later, guys.